I'm the Nostalgia Critic guy, remember? So you don't have to. This is the shit! So it starts off like that copter was taken down years ago. And then they're like, get out of the copter and we'll shoot.
Hey everybody, I'm Walter Benasiak, and this is Top 5. But no regular Top 5. This is the Top 5 Best Nostalgia Critic Episodes in honor of his 10-year anniversary. And I didn't even put this list together. You guys did. Over 19,000 of you guys voted for your favorite Nostalgia Critic episode over the past week, and we're gonna count down the top 5 that got the most votes right here, right now. So let's cut the BS. Let's get into it. Number 5.
You know, I saw that movie when I was a little kid, and I remember everyone saying, it's so scary, it's so creepy. And I was ready for it. I guess I was a little too ready because I didn't find it creepy at all. I actually thought it was hilarious.
One half of it's great. The other half is a flaming dumpster fire. I just remember getting through the movie was tough. We like the part with the kids is great. It is a legitimately great movie, and we really like Tim Curry. He's the best thing in the movie. Apart from that, all I remember sticking out was the scene where the woman comes in and her husband's like committed suicide in the bathtub, and it's this like crazy overacting, and we just lost it. We were like laughing for 10 minutes. I think we just decided spontaneously there we were gonna somehow put that in the review. That was one of the first ones where I got to really insanely overact, which is all I know how to do, so.
I said I called for another shot. Hello, friends. I'm invited to be the Benjamin boy. Are you tired, run down, listless? Do you pop out at parties? Are you on poop yard?
If I used real alcohol, I'd be dead. So I think that was just apple juice. I got that from Lost in Translation. It was kind of nice sucking out the poison from what everyone said was like the scariest thing. A guy, I'm afraid of clowns, and made him think Stephen King was like the greatest writer ever. And even Stephen King will tell you he's not the greatest writer ever. Even he's like, yeah, I'm okay. So it was nice to do that. It was nice to show people that something that really terrified them as kids is actually kind of funny, is actually kind of silly, and it's fun to go back and see that, because so many people did not want to go back and see it. But when they saw, here's this review and it's really funny, I think that sort of helped them look at it different point of view. So now they can watch it and enjoy it, but for the same reason I watch it and enjoy it, because it's really funny.
I dropped the mic.
This was Rob's. It was scary.
We got Jim J. Ross here. What's going on, Jim?
Hey, not much. Yeah, happy to be here.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, because you've been a part of Nostalgia Critic for so long, what are some of the favorite props that you have made for the show?
Well, definitely all the props for the Mad Max review was a big one. I would say that I would have built that stuff even if we didn't do the review. Like, when I saw the movie, I'm like, that's the stuff I have to make. So that was a blast. That was a ton of fun, and we probably had the most amount of time to build that stuff too. So I could put a little bit more effort into it. But yeah, that was probably the best.
Cool. So we got number 4 coming up. Why don't you intro that for us?
Here comes number 4.
Honestly, my opinion hasn't changed since we did the review, but when we did the review, my opinion had changed, because originally I thought it was just trash. And then when we did the review, I thought, oh, it's hilarious trash, and that's pretty much where I'm at right now. Arnold Schwarzenegger is legitimately the funniest thing in it, and I find the movie legitimately funny, but I'm not sure it was always intentionally meant to be funny. And because there are some things that are just funny to me, like when she sneaks into the Batcave and Alfred pops up and is just like, and I took the liberty of making you a suit, the measurements are to your specifications. And I'm like, how or why did Alfred know what her exact measurements were? Just, ew.
Enter Joel Schumacher, director of the third Batman film, Batman Forever. It was the Batman film studios always wanted, safe and marketable, and as you would imagine, it was a big hit. So logically, Schumacher was called in to direct the next one.
I feel like he's in the wrong field. I think he should be a production designer, because he's always more interested in what the sets are doing than any of the actors. So, but he seems like a nice guy, and he apologized for Batman and Robin. I'm not gonna sit here and spend the rest of my days claiming he destroyed superhero movies as we know it, because, hate to tell you, they're doing just fine.
Super crap-a-fuck-a-rific, XBL bullshit.
Originally, I think it was for when I did the Ninja Turtles movies, I was asking for a word to describe Ninja Turtles 3. I couldn't think of one, so I asked Rob. I was thinking of something that could almost sound like a real word, and he thought for a while. I'd say, okay, I got it. Super crap-a-fuck-a-rific, XBL bullshit. I said, that's amazing. That's totally not what I'm looking for. I came up with horrible-fuckers. I'm going to use that. But I said, but I love this. We got to use it for something else. And then when Batman Robin came around, I'm like, well, you got to end on a song. Because that's what Schumacher would do if he could put it in the Batman movie.
Never leave the cave without it.
A Bat credit card? They gave him a Bat credit card?
The Bat credit card was pretty much my reaction when I saw the movie. I already knew the movie was going to be bad, but we're like, it's Batman. We got to see it. And that really was the moment where just like Batman was kind of dead for like a couple seconds there. When you're a kid and you grew up with the Burton Batmans and then suddenly that credit card pops up, it's like Schumacher just came out and just stabbed your heart once, and you survived and you got over it really fast, but it's still a stab in the heart. So yeah, and now I think it's kind of funny and how stupid it is. A lot of that movie is actually very funny and how dumb it is.
They had the balls to give one of the greatest superheroes of all time a Bat credit card? No! Does not compute! I can't say!
There's never been a convention I've gone to where someone hasn't shouted it.
Doug loves it, by the way, when you do that at conventions. If you want to just see Doug have the greatest time ever, give him a Bat credit card and expect him to do the whole routine. He loves it.
I actually really like going over the top, screaming and yelling at him and choking him and chasing him down. I do all sorts of various things, and they love it too. It's one of the few times you'll hear someone say, I love being beaten. But as I get older and I've lost my voice a lot and stuff, and energy does get drained a little bit now, and people ask it like 8 times at a convention, I kind of I might do it once, and then after that I'll do like a rawr. I fake punch you. That's what I'll do. But it's just, no offense, it takes a lot out of me.
Never stop. I want somebody when we're 80 years old to show up at his funeral and do it.
That review of Batman and Robin was actually one of the first videos I saw of the Nostalgia Critic, so it's pretty cool that you guys voted for it to be number 4 on this list. I mean, that credit card thing, total gem. Let's get back into the countdown with number 3.
I always wanted to do something with Brenda Flies. That's kind of how it came about, and I always wanted to do Moulin Rouge because that was kind of like it. Everybody loved this movie, and it always kind of surprised me how nobody could see the flaws in it or just how glaring they were. So I wanted to do this review, but there are things I like in Moulin Rouge. I do kind of like, parts of the style and everything. So I wanted to do this really, really big review because there's only so long you can yell in front of a white wall. So you could kind of argue that was the first, sort of the new wave of reviews I did, after the resurgence, because now a lot of the reviews are like that. They're more productions. I wanted a review to feel like a production, because you're doing video reviews, and if you're gonna just sit in front of a camera and talk and give your opinion, you kind of go, well, why wasn't this written? You get a little bit of the facial expressions and stuff, but you want to do something different with it. You want to do comedy, you want to do a story, you want to add music, you want to do everything you can't do with a written review. So that was my first real attempt, in my opinion, really pushing that and seeing what can I do with this. And it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of work, but it was definitely a lot of fun.
Guilty pleasures, they're the best at any time. Guilty pleasures, you have yours and I have mine. Guilty pleasures, Moulin Rouge is full of shit. Guilty pleasures, but we won't stop loving it.
That's the first one that we actually did, a big blowout. Later it turned into Phantom and Les Mis and stuff like that. But the Moulin Rouge was a lot of fun because it's the first time we decomposed music, which is what we tend to do here.
It's one of those things where I would sort of say, here's what I'm looking to do in the song, and here's the song it's satirizing. Go to work, Brent. And then with the last one, I said, I think I can write this one. I have a good idea what to do with this one. So I wrote the lyrics, gave to my dad, said, I have this melody, but I don't know if it works. See if you can make it work. That's kind of what he does. And yeah, I wouldn't know that would later be the theme song, but I actually think it's a good theme song.
A review must go. A review must go.
There was just fun working with these guys and making this music almost the real thing, and in some cases probably better than.
A lot of you guys seem to really like those musical reviews, and Moulin Rouge is definitely a very strong episode of Nostalgia Critic. But now we're getting down to the nitty-gritty, the top two. There weren't too many votes in between these two ones, so they were pretty close. But this is the one that you guys voted for as the second best Nostalgia Critic episode.
Everyone wanted me to see this movie to talk about it, and I said I haven't seen the show. So everyone wanted me to see the show and talk about it. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna do this. This was the first time we started doing show vlogs, so I would watch an episode and just give my thoughts real fast, just thinking okay, a little something, just to pad out views or something like that. And they did really well. The show has such a following, and you can see why. It's a wonderful show. So I wanted to go into the movie, even though I could go in totally blind and just judge it as a movie, I wanted to go in with an idea of the show, because I felt like everyone talked about the show so much and so fondly, it kind of deserved that. So I think that made the review a lot funnier too, because then I could do satires of the show, I could do homages to the show, I could compare them, I could show even more outside of just it being the movie what kind of a heinous crime against the show it really was. So I think that made it a lot more interesting, gave a lot more interesting points of view.
It's really, really awful. The problem with it, it's not so much that it's legitimately the worst thing ever made that we've had to sit through, it's that it so tarnishes what is a great show. And anyone who got introduced to that movie first before the cartoon show completely lost out. So I hate it more for that reason.
If you can't see the obvious similarities between the movie's designs and the show's designs, clearly you haven't drank enough cactus juice. I mean, God, can you guys imagine constantly misrepresenting characters by constantly getting their skin colors wrong?
Shameful.
Unforgivable.
Atrocious.
It was fun working with Rachel, and when I read the script, I saw that we would be playing parodies of characters in the actual show, which I thought was going to be a lot of fun, and it was, because Avatar: Last Airbender, it was an interesting cartoon. There was nothing quite on TV at the time that I can recall. So getting to play like Sokka, it was a lot of fun.
Are you sure we have the right guy?
We didn't have like quite as much costume stuff here at the time. I was still kind of moving stuff in and acquiring different costumes and materials and bringing props in and stuff like that. So I think the costumes were all made out of an old bed sheet that I had. It was like that blue color or whatever, and I just cut up and made those like tunics and stuff. And then for the little like ponytail thing for Malcolm, I just like cut the tip off a wig. And that was the most difficult thing, was actually trying to get it to stay in his hair. But then, yeah, and then creating the Shyamalan mask. Actually, I made that. Doug gave me the mask. He had picked it up, and we were shooting or doing the one of the charity events at that time. So I was just kind of sitting in the background while the charity event was going on, doing all the different catchphrases and stuff like that, and painting up the mask and stuff. So
It's cool because it's, again, you kind of have an idea what the character is going to look like, and you hope it's going to look as good as you want it to, because I sort of give an idea and then I hand it over to Jim and my dad, and sometimes I bring in other people too. And when they get it looking like just perfect, exactly what you're looking for, there's always kind of that chill, like, yes, like this will work, this will work. And that's kind of what I got with that. And then when I heard Rob's voice and you see Malcolm sort of doing the mannerisms to Rob's voice, which I think is always great because it's just a little off. So it kind of reminds me of the boss from Seinfeld, the one that's obviously dubbed. There's no reason, it's just funny. It's just that extra little bit of surrealness that I think gets a giggle. So yeah, he always gets a giggle out of me. I just think it's always great.
And for a certain avid jerk who might be listening, I have only this to say. Stand down. No critic has ever been able to stop me before. If you do not, I will suck out what little talent you had to begin with.
Shyamalan is one of my all-time favorite characters in anything, because he's a team effort. I do the pantomiming, I do the body work, I'm in the outfit, and it's actually Rob's voice.
So in Legend of Korra, Steve Bloom, who's like one of my voice acting heroes, and Malcolm's too. We had to fight over who was gonna do it. He did this character named Amon. So Doug just decided we were gonna come up with Shyamalan as this character, but since nobody looks exactly like Shyamalan, we were just gonna do it as Amon. And then I know it's one of the few times where I like just pulled rank against someone else because I'm just like, I want to do the voice. It's like, well, Malcolm does it too. I'm like, I don't care. This is the one time I'm totally stepping over Malcolm to do something.
Yeah.
Too late. He's been Shyamalanized.
Hi, guys. I just want to stand directly in the middle of the shot and stare blankly into the camera.
Well, this is Doug before. And this is him after getting Shyamalanized.
I get Shyamalanized? Okay. Hi, I'm Doug Walker. Hi, I'm Rob Walker.
What? No.
I feel like that's me every day.
Enjoy your incredibly awesome show and enjoy hating your incredibly awful movie.
What is your thing?
Whatever the movie, whether it's good or bad, I want to see every Shyamalan movie ever. So take that for what it's worth.
Well, we got Tamara Chambers here. What's going on, Tamara?
Hi, guys.
Hey, I wanted to ask you, what were some of your favorite episodes of Nostalgia Critic over these past 10 years, and what were some of the favorite characters that you've played personally?
I always love being in the Star Wars episodes. Those are so much fun to do, and the episodes that bring everyone in is more of an ensemble is a lot of fun. Mad Max was really great. I felt very badass in that. Wonder Woman kind of helped me rediscover my love of DC, and I just love playing her. But my favorite of all time has to be Hyper Fangirl. She's my favorite, and I really identify with her.
Well, a lot of you guys voted, over 19,000 of you, for your favorite Nostalgia Critic episode, and I wanted to at least give a shout out to some of the ones that didn't make the top 5. There was one that just barely missed out on this top 5. So number 6 through 10, here they are right now as honorable mentions. We got Rob and Barney Walker here. Wow, legends in front of me. What are some of your guys' favorite episodes of Nostalgia Critic over the past 10 years?
Schindler's List, followed shortly by Mad Max.
Yeah, and I like Schindler's List, followed by Citizen Kane.
We didn't do Citizen Kane.
I thought we didn't do Citizen Kane.
No, it was
well,
Schindler's List.
In that case, I've got to say Hocus Pocus, because I love doing the makeup and the costumes for Doug. By the way, those were his real teeth. Those were not fake.
Doug makes a very handsome Bette Midler.
Yeah.
But we're getting to number one now. Thousands of people voted for their favorite Nostalgia Critic episode. Ooh, why don't you introduce it for us?
All right,
Right, here we go.
Coming up next, number 12.
14. No, how many are there?
There's 5.
There's
Number
five.
6.
All right, number 5.
4.
4, 3, 2, 1. Here it is.
You got it wrong again.
I got a ton of requests to review this movie. I knew it was, at the time, that was kind of a newer movie. Okay, still several years old, but... and I had no idea about it. I just kept seeing these people once in a while would say, review the room. And it was enough that I said, okay, well, somebody will watch this. If anything, even if not that many people know about it, it sounds like something where if I do talk about it, it'll get it attention. So I went in knowing not a thing about it, and as soon as Tommy walks in and says, "Hi, babe," I mean, it's just immediately you're sold. You can't believe that's going to be the main character. That's your lead. And he came and say 2 words convincingly. They're 1 syllable each. 2 words. "Hi, babe," and he couldn't do it. And you just know you're in for the strangest ride.
This is the Ed Wood of our time. I don't know what, like, it was just the perfect amount of so bad it's kind of amazing. It's not even, really, like, it's not even in my top 30 for the worst things I've had to sit through because it's so awful in the right ways. It's probably like Batman and Robin. I'm just like, no, actually, I could watch this multiple times and at least get a good laugh out of it.
You are part of my life. You are everything. I could not go on without you, Lisa. No.
It actually was a little hard to get material because you make your initial jokes, but he has that accent, he has that way of talking, he makes these choices throughout the whole thing. There's only so many ways you can make fun of that, but it's so consistent, so you really have to start thinking outside the box because there's just so much bad being thrown at you that you can't always address it all.
That was one of the earliest ones, and when I made that Seahorse City or whatever, like, I was kind of amazed how well that actually turned out, and Doug was like really happy with it or whatever, so I was like, oh, okay, great, I fooled them all. Absolutely. I mean, that was like a fever dream I had, actually, where that's why it's so close to my actual vision of what the horrible future will hold. But that's not for years to come, so it's all good.
Where'd you hear that? I mean, not that, anyone would, if there was, this would be the salute. But, absolutely.
Anyway, how is your sex life?
Can't talk about it? Why not?
Why not? How about you just brought it the fuck out of nowhere, you weird alien man?
For me, he's the perfect definition of frenemy, because there are things I admire about him, and there's things I clearly do not admire about him. And I think anyone that gets to know him sort of comes across those same elements, but even with that said, there's things you still admire about him. And it's just this constant back and forth. And again, I think that's the fascination. I think if he just turned over a new leaf and was like, oh, now he's always nice, he's always kind, he always makes sense. He finishes sentences and stuff like that. In a strange way, he wouldn't be as interesting. So even though like the problems he's kind of put us through, he's sent us cease and desist, he's gotten us strikes on our channel, he's, talked bad stuff about us and all that stuff. In a strange way, I still don't know, looking back, if I would change it, because it still adds to just the mystery of what he is.
This mad, sort of crazy, I'm not going to say genius because that's not true, but, he's just an interesting individual.
You are tearing me apart, Lisa!
Oh my God. Even when all that stuff was going on with the cease and desist and the strikes and all that stuff, I still recommend The Room. Like, it has to be seen to be believed.
It's one of the most entertaining zombie movies of all time.
It needs to be experienced. I'm not saying you will come out better for it, but you will come out changed.
I want to throw it out there too. Many of the cast members have been unbelievable to us about, particularly Greg Sestero. He's one of the guys that says like Cartoon Network and us are like two of the biggest forces that got like just this wide range of fans, to notice him. So yeah, I mean, really for all you can say about Tommy, it has opened up just this incredible new experience and just meeting incredible people. So no, I wouldn't give that up for anything.
Well, that's it. Over 19,000 of you guys voted. Thank you so much for voting for your best Nostalgia Critic episode. There's going to be more stuff to come, so make sure you come back next week on Top 5. And it's been 10 years of Nostalgia Critic. Celebrate. Do whatever you want to do. Go on Tumblr and post a bunch of GIFs, like the comment on the video, whatever you want to do. But thank you so much for voting. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic. Man, 10 long years, that is crazy. We are gonna cut down the top 5 best of these episodes, right?
It's over.
It's over?
Yeah.
Oh. What was number 1?
The Room.
It wasn't Alien 3?
No, you didn't do Alien 3.
You mean I shaved my head for nothing? Whatever, at least Schindler's List is on there. Right? You didn't put...